Hi, welcome to the orchard. We're looking at what is heritage fruit and where do we get our information on how to choose fruits. Heritage fruits for me are ones which have had a long history of being commercially grown and have a great success story and were once widely grown but are now commercially extinct. And that's what we're going to look at. How do we find out about those sorts of fruits? Where are the trusted archives? What sort of information can we get from them? And we're going to be looking at the sort of texts that we've got here and the information that we can get from them. So when you're trying to set up a horticultural project, a heritage orchard for example, where do you turn to for information? One of the best sources are the old encyclopedias like this. This is the Practical Gardener and Modern Horticulturalist, edited by James Anderton. And it's full of information about the correct apples and pears and fruits generally that will work in your area. And it's so important that you get information that you can use. So where you live, you may have similar books. This is one of the books that I found particularly useful. This is a book by Robert Hogg. It was published in 1884, and it's a guide to the fruits that were grown in the British Isles at that time. And it's an extraordinary piece of work, and it's extremely useful to me when I'm deciding whether or not I want to grow something, whether or not it has a commercial application, will it grow in the conditions that we have here. And the amount of effort and time that he spent cataloguing varieties that were already becoming rare and he was thinking might become extinct. And as a result of that work, we're still able to identify and understand how to grow so many different fruits thanks to his good work. So you may be lucky and live in an area where a guidebook was published very similar to this. And if so, definitely use it. So let me give you an example of how we use these texts. This autumn I planted a new apple called melon, and I did so because of this description. Melon apple, described in Hogg's fruit manual, which we have here, Lawson's catalogue of fruits, and Rivers' catalogue, etc. So I immediately know that it's been described on a number of occasions by well-known horticulturalists. Rivers was a fantastic grower of fruits. And then it says, nearly first size, which means very large, fruit size, first quality, which is always a good sign, skin lemon on the shaded side and light crimson near the sun. So it gives us a description of what the skin looks like. Flesh yellowish, white, very tender, crisp and juicy, with a delicate perfume. So that's a very good description, that's an interesting one. Then it says, this is an American sort of first excellence, suitable for all growers. So immediately I want to plant that apple. And then we'll cross-reference it with Hogg and see what he says. Let's see what Hogg says about melon. Flesh yellowish white, very tender and crisp, juicy, sweet and vinous, with a delicate and very agreeable perfume. That sounds promising, very similar to the first description. A first-rate dessert apple in use in December. An American apple of great excellence, it was raised in the state of New York at a place called East Bloomfield. So that immediately tells me that this is a worthwhile thing to plant, and we'll be seeing it grow in the orchard. One of the other great advantages of having these old texts is that you can find collections of fruits for your particular area, whether you're in a cold, frosty area, near the sea, you think you're in a very warm area, whether you've got a low rainfall or a high rainfall, you'll find lists of fruits that work successfully under those conditions, and that saves you so much time, because they're trustworthy. These are long-term, well-researched articles and lists of fruits, which are much more reliable than anything you'll find today.